What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family, bringing you guys the Ezekiel Elliott breakdown. Please bear with me. I am at my job. I hopped into my car real quick just to, like I said, give you guys the breakdown, the update. I have a lot of information here. So, guys, give me just a minute. Ooh, there might be a better... Ooh, ay, ay, ay. All right, guys, give me a second because there might be a better spot to put my phone. All right, let's see here. So, nope. That's all right. So we're just going to go ahead and hold it here, guys. Like I said, please bear with me. I have a lot of papers, a lot of information. I'm going to try to go through this and really break it down, explain it to you guys. I'm going to start off by preface all this entire stream, guys. I am not a lawyer. I am not a legal expert in any way. I'm just a regular football fan like you guys, trying to understand what the heck is going on here. So, all right, here we go. So, and make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, guys. It really does help out our channel. So, and if you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to try and answer them. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, as we know, Ezekiel Elliott filed his temporary restraining order in Texas. And, you know, it made it all the way to the 5th District Court of Appeals. So, the 5th District Court of Appeals signed with the NFL. And the specific thing that they were arguing was jurisdiction, just because of this, because they're saying that Zeke filed prematurely, that, you know, the NFL hadn't made their decision, so Ezekiel Elliott prematurely filed his lawsuit, which is why the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in the NFL's favor. So all this means now, guys, is just that Ezekiel Elliott can appeal in Texas, or it gets moved to the Southern District of New York, and I'm going to touch on that in just a little bit more. So, guys, mainly the main case will be going to the Southern District of New York court. And they are likely to have some kind of an oral hearing before the San Francisco game, guys. So we definitely will be getting some kind of update, some kind of hearing, some kind of court action before this upcoming game next week. So it's possible but not likely, guys, this is a tricky one, that the NFLPA, so the Players Association, Zeke's legal team, already asked the Southern District of New York judge to transfer the case from Texas to New York. It's not likely. It's possible, but, you know, they could have already asked the Texas court and the New York court to go ahead and transfer everything. I haven't heard anything. We will keep you updated if we do see that, though. Now, the good news on all of this, guys, and this is where it gets a little bit strange. Even though Ezekiel Elliott lost in this specific instance, it actually is a good thing they filed in Texas. Now, let's start off with Judge James E. Graves. Now, guys, the big thing on this is that this judge actually ruled in favor of Ezekiel Elliott on fundamental fairness, which is the key thing here, guys. There's two things up for debate. One, you know, was Ezekiel Elliott's hearing fundamentally fair and all that, which is what they're trying to say, and then the NFL is trying to counter and say that they have no legal precedent to even file the suit. So, all right, so why Ezekiel Elliott has a better chance than Tom Brady for winning. Now, remember, they're both making the same kinds of arguments. Like, the evidence and the information is different, guys, but the actual argument itself is pretty much the same in the sense of the whole fundamental fairness thing. And the key difference on that is that while Brady's claim of fundamental fairness came from a collateral witness, with Ezekiel Elliott's case, it's the key witness in the trial here, you know, the key witness in the complaint that is the one, you know, who's kind of involved here. So Ezekiel Elliott has a much better chance than Tom Brady just because of the actual facts of the case, guys. So, and quick shout out to everyone who's here. Chase, Manuel, Dallas Cowboys for life. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. So let's go ahead and keep going. Cowboys legend, what's up? So the NFL filed a notice with the Southern District of New York, just kind of updating them on what the 5th District Court of Appeals ruled. So the NFL is just kind of letting the New York courts know, hey, this is what they said. We're giving you guys this information. So I really want to break down real quick why it was so vital that Ezekiel Elliott filed in Texas and why it's such a big benefit to him, guys. And the biggest one is that with Mazant's opinion and Graves' dissent on the majority statement, he claims that Zeke's merits claims may have merit, and that helps with the temporary restraining order. So basically now we have legal precedent that two judges have, you know, clear legal writing explaining why Ezekiel Elliott you know, it is correct, or why they're siding with the facts on Ezekiel Elliott according to the law and all the facts that they have, guys. So, and Judge Graves and Judge Mazant are the only opinions that actually took the time to specifically address the fundamental fairness, which is going to be the deciding factor in the Zeke case, okay? So, again, it basically means, guys, that these two judges looked at the facts of the case outside of the jurisdiction, outside of the actual can you file here or not, did you have the right to file, outside of that, looking at the facts of the case, they're basically saying that they side with Ezekiel Elliott. So that's big, guys, because again, now we have actual written legal precedent that the Southern District of New York Court can use and say, okay, so, and Mazant and Graves' opinions, while they might not be legally binding, and the judges in New York and the court in New York doesn't have to uphold the same rulings that they did, you know, it is, you know, like I said, it sets a legal precedent for fundamental fairness. So I want to go ahead and move on from that, guys. Like I said, I got so many papers, I have so many notes here. Let's go here real quick. So, let me see. So the interesting part of this is the Texas thing is actually not over. So Ezekiel Elliott, the NFLPA, they can actually file for, let me see, I want to get it right, guys. I don't want to tell you wrong. So they can actually file, let me see, what is it? A petition for rehearing. So basically it just means that they're asking the Texas court to relook at the same information and possibly change, you know, their original ruling. They have 14 days after the original decision was made. So the 5th District Court of Appeal decision was made, what, Monday, Tuesday? Actually, no, it was made yesterday, the day before? I don't know, guys. I can't remember exactly. But the point is that whenever the actual legal decision from the court was made, the NFLPA has 14 days from there to file a rehearing, basically. The only thing is the rehearing is a good thing because they're going to exhaust every single legal option for Ezekiel Elliott. But it could undercut their temporary restraining order motion in New York. So, because New York will say, well, you guys still have an active case for this in Texas, so we can't really rule or make any decision or anything on it here in New York. So, let's see what his legal team does. They do have several different options. And guys, I do want to say thank you so much for everyone who's watching. I'm sorry I can't really catch up with you guys. I do have to hop back into work in a few minutes, but I want to go over all this information. So, I do have Judge Graves' exact quote from the 5th District Court of Appeals and what their decision was, but I want to hop into this, and I have this paper here that basically just breaks down. So guys, let's go ahead and kind of recap everything. Basically, the legal precedent set by Judge Mazant and Judge Graves, who agreed with Ezekiel Elliott's fundamental fairness, that, you know, basically it's a good thing for Zeke and the Dallas Cowboys, but it remains to be seen. So guys, let's go ahead, and this is the thing that I've been really trying to understand, basically why exactly this is such a problem. Yeah, so basically because they filed in Texas, it's good and bad. It hurt them in the sense that they didn't get this initial win, so to speak, but it sets such a great legal precedent and very clearly explains why the judges, both Mazant and Graves, you know, decided what they decided. And when it comes to the actual facts of the case, guys, not jurisdiction, not did he file too early, when it comes to the real facts of the case, so far 2 judges have sided with Ezekiel Elliott. So keep that in mind for sure. So all right, so here is the interesting thing. So mainly Ezekiel Elliott's case is built on the idea that the NFL denied him fair process. So he does have a fair point. The thing is that common sense says, yes, obviously, you know, they did this, but the law unfortunately says, well, it's maybe not so clear. So the thing about Article 46, which is the whole legal thing around this whole case, is that it imposes one procedural requirement regarding arbitration hearings. Before the hearing, both sides must exchange copies of relevant exhibits, which is pieces of evidence. Basically, that's the only precedent in a sense. That's it. So with Article 46, you know, there's no requirement that certain witnesses must testify or that certain people's opinions must be, you know, valued or anything. It just says that both sides have to exchange evidence before the hearing. Now, that's where, again, things can go on Zeke's side because there was certain evidence that was withheld from his team, his side. I don't know. Again, guys, when it comes to these legal things, a lot of it is just based on legal precedent. So, again, the big, clear distinction here here we go. So let me see. Sorry guys, like I said, when I say I have notes, I have notes. I have like 20 papers here. So let me see. Let me see. Oh, and the other big thing that changed this specific court ruling, guys, so that big thing, one, with the Article 46, just kind of breakdown, and two, is the fact that the Judge Mazant's ruling, when the NFL appealed, they basically, instead of appealing it with, let me see, so there's two ways that I guess appeals can go, where basically they can do it de novo, which just means starting from new, where they don't take into account that judge's findings and rulings as heavily, and then there's with prejudice. So basically that just means that whatever Judge Mazant said, they would take that more into consideration. And the way the NFL filed their appeal on Judge Mazant's decision was a de novo, which means that the 5th District Court of Appeals and that panel of judges had to look at it without giving any extra weight or merit to Judge Mazant's statements. And without that, it does make it so that, you know, Ezekiel Elliott's legal precedent for pre-filing in Texas, you know, it doesn't make it valid, which is why the, you know, 5th Circuit Court of Appeals did side with the NFL on this one specific thing. And in this one thing, the NFL won, and they were technically legally correct. But like I said, guys, it was a good thing for Ezekiel Elliott. It sets a good legal precedent for him to win his legal battles in the future. So guys, I definitely broke it down as much as I can here. We will be talking a little bit more about this in depth in our upcoming streams, guys, and as new information comes out, we'll always keep you updated. But just to kind of wrap up and summarize all this information, because guys, it's a lot. Like I said, I got stacks of information here. To wrap it up, basically the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals had to side with the NFL because Ezekiel Elliott filed too early in Texas. But because he filed in Texas early when he did, he now has the option to either rehear it in Texas. It's most likely not going to be, but we will keep you updated on that. And on top of that, because they filed it in Texas, there's a legal precedent and information on why the fundamental fairness, you know, reasoning on filing this temporary restraining order, why Ezekiel Elliott is in the right, why he, you know, will hopefully beat this suspension and beat this freaking war campaign against Zeke the Freak. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions on this legal stuff, please, you know, leave comments in the chat. Let us know. I'm going to be going back through it and trying my best. Like I said, I am just a normal fan, just like you guys, trying to understand what the heck these evil judges and this crazy NFL is trying to do to Ezekiel Elliott. So, and the biggest quick touch on Article 46. Unfortunately, the NFLPA dropped the ball on this one big time. Because when they made the collective bargaining agreement, they did not secure the rights of the players, guys, and that's where that, you know, definitely expect a big change in that coming up in the next, I guess, renegotiation, redrawing of that contract. But it actually said it very clear. And guys, I'll be posting a few more things on Twitter just to kind of clarify. And actually, I want to wrap it up with, oh no, come back into focus. Oh no, guys. Oh, there we go. All right. So, and guys, I just want to wrap it up with Judge Graves' actual quotes and comments from the 5th Circuit Court of Appeal filings. And then we're going to go ahead and I got to go back to work. So enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed my break time today. So here we go, guys. The NFLPA and Elliott were arguably being denied the right to present by testimony or otherwise any evidence relevant to the hearing. At the hearing, the NFL attempted to keep Roberts, the only investigator to interview all witnesses, from testifying and denied access to investigative notes and the opportunity to question the accuser. The NFL's arbitrator then denied access to the investigation notes. 4 of the interviews with the accuser were not transcribed, but they were in the notes. And the arbitrator also denied the opportunity to question the accuser, who was the only witness. So guys, and when I said earlier what the difference was between Brady and with Zeke as far as the fundamental fairness, and this is the thing, the key witness in the case, you couldn't even interview, you couldn't even get any information. Let me not get too crazy, guys. All right, so the arbitrator then denied the opportunity to question Goodell, and after the NFLPA was successful in compelling Roberts' testimony, NFLPA discovered Roberts was excluded from meeting with Goodell and outside advisors. The revelation of Roberts' exclusion suggests Goodell was not fully informed before making his decision, and this is important for 2 reasons. 1, the arbitrator properly gave deference to the commissioner, and 2, all of that is evidence relevant to the hearing. So basically they're saying that Mrs. Roberts' statements, Miss Roberts' investigation is, you know, a fundamental piece of evidence, and you can't just go around that and pretend it's not a fundamental piece of evidence. So glad the judge is with us on that. So also, the NFL clearly relied on the accuser's interviews, and there were only transcripts of 2 of the 6 interviews. The investigative notes likely should have been exchanged. So they're saying that the NFL made their decision based on 2 out of 6 interviews and only transcription notes from this crazy woman. So all of these actions, quote, impugn the integrity of the arbitration process, end quote. And then there's a few legal mentions here on specific cases. Thus, the NFL's refusal to follow these agreed-upon procedures in the CBA resulted in a repudiation of the grievance procedure sufficient to vest jurisdiction in the district court. So basically, it's just saying Ezekiel Elliott does have enough legal precedent to be able to file this lawsuit and do all that. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching our legal Ezekiel Elliott breakdown. Definitely make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't. Keep your notification bell on so that when we stream later tonight, we'll go ahead and kind of go over this again. And if you have any questions or anything else, guys, please let us know, because this is a really confusing, crazy time, and there's lots of stuff going on, and this really does affect the Cowboys in a big way, especially considering, you know, the way that the season has gone so far. A few of us have kind of said, oh, Zeke, just take the L, be suspended, suck it up now. And I get that, but we can't just lay down and take that. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe, and leave any questions in the comments down below. We'll be coming back to you guys, answering them. And as always, go Cowboys!